Hi, we're back again, and we've got a very interesting guest next. His name is Richard Iyall, and he is a professional poet. I mean, and a good poet. And we're going to be able to hear some of his work today. So I'd like to introduce you to Richard. Hi, Richard. I'm glad to have you here today.
Hi, Carole. I'm glad to be here again.
Okay, really good. And you said you wanted to start out with some particular thing, right?
Yes, today is September 17th, and that is Constitution Day.
Oh, my gosh.
So, yeah, 1787, 37 signers signed the Constitution.
Oh, my gosh, that's a very important date.
Yeah, as a matter of fact, to celebrate the Constitution, Congress designated September 17th of each day of each year as Constitution Day, and September 17th through the 23rd of each year as Constitution Week.
Wow, a whole week.
Yeah.
That is important.
Yeah, and then it says in 2004, a public law was passed requiring, quote, each educational institution that receives federal funds for a fiscal year shall hold an educational program on the United States Constitution on September 17th of each such year for the students served by the educational institution.
That's wonderful. I'm so glad that you brought out today. Thank
Yeah.
you so much. It's an important day. Okay, and you wanted to read something?
Yes, I've got two poems I'd like to read.
Okay, let's go ahead with one, and then we'll talk some more.
Sure. This one, it was written originally in 2010 when I was taking a class in poetry at Fresno City College.
Oh, okay. Good. Go for it.
Yeah, and this one, we were given the task of writing something called a blank verse poem. And you'll see how it goes. And what I wrote is called Richard's Soliloquy.
Oh, okay.
It kind of goes along with today, recognizing the rights of the people.
Right.
Sometimes I feel I just cannot go on. I want to stop and let my spirit be. The forces in this world want more and more. They make demands upon my very soul. So where's the freedom in this life of mine? I do my best, and yet it's not enough. There's so much that I feel that I must do. I wonder if I'm going to make it through. I get so stressed from centralized control that takes from life until there's nothing left.
Oh my gosh, is that? Oh, that's really.
There's more.
Oh, please go on because it's wonderful. Go on ahead.
The government is, yes, the worst of all. They take and watch and listen to our words, recording everything we say and do. They strive to usurp independent thought, then try to make us think they know what's best. Yet underneath it all, they're nothing more than tyrants, trying to win our hearts and minds. They use the media so well, speaking of which. Of course, we can use it too. They lead the masses with their promises of change, deceiving people with hypnotic ways. Their use of politics is shrewd. They clamp on weaknesses with laws that grab and claw at people like a giant steel trap. They pass more laws unread. As long as they enslave us more and make their power grow, they care not what the details are. They try to make us all forget the laws endowed to us by God. Our healthcare choices are for us to choose, not them. Intelligent design is found in nature more than drugs. So let the system fail as it is flawed. when sacred rights are swept aside. The end result is very bad, but worse for those who blindly trust their lives and follow them. Trust their lives and follow them. So if I want to really find my peace, I have to find it looking from within. That's it.
Wow, do you know, I have never been a fan of poetry because it never made sense to me. But your poetry is so wonderful because the whole story is there and is so understandable, and yet it's beautifully put together. I just, you're my favorite poet.
Well, thank you very much. It's quite an honor.
When did you start doing poetry?
Well, actually, my very first poem, I was in the 6th grade. I wrote a poem about the big Fresno Fair. You know, it was a great place for a lot of fun.
Oh my gosh, that is fantastic. So you've been writing poetry since you were 6?
Well, I didn't write another one till many years later.
Oh.
I lost that one. But then I wrote one, it was a Christmas poem.
Oh.
And actually, I liked it so much, I had it professionally typeset and sent the money into the federal government to get it, what do you call it, copyrighted.
Oh, copyrighted, right.
Yeah, so it was legally copyrighted.
Oh my gosh, I'd like, bring that the next time you come, I'd like to read that. I'd love to have a copy of that.
Well, I do have a copy with me.
Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. Okay,
so you can copy it later.
Okay, so, and are you able to sell your poetry?
No, I haven't been selling any poetry. I've just been doing it, to fill my heart. And,
That's okay. But if somebody contacted you and wanted a copy of that play, would you be able to do that?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, because sometimes our people that are our audience would like to get something like that.
Oh yeah.
That's great. Okay, so what kind of training did you get in school? You didn't do any poetry in school, right?
Well, I didn't have any training for many years. I wrote those 2 poems, and I really liked that Christmas poem. So, you know, I did a lot with it, and I recited various places, and it has been published. In fact, it's been published in a book.
Fabulous. It should be. You should be talking in more places. Come on, you people have a business and want somebody to come in is interesting. Have this young man come in, and he's, as you can see, he's a wonderful poet. So, did you have anything else that you really wanted to put across? Do you have another?
Yes, definitely. Also, since this is September, the state of California recognizes the 4th Friday of the month as Native American Day.
Oh, really?
And I am Native American. I am a member.
Well, we had a little accident, didn't we? Well, we were out of the picture for a few minutes, but we're back, and we're going to continue with Iyall. And we were talking about the fact that he's from the Carole Indian tribe, and I was excited because I'm very interested in Indian people, and in my books that I've written a whole thing about Indians. So I'm glad you told me that. So go ahead with your writing, honey.
Sure. Well, just to let people know, my last name is a Native American name. That was my great-grandfather's first name.
Oh.
It's Iyall. Although when he was alive, they had a different pronunciation. It was Iyall. But my family members, they changed the pronunciation to help the people that spoke English. You know?
Okay, thank you.
But yeah, our family's been really involved in a lot of things, you know, in a lot of different ways. But
Great.
Anyway, so the poem that I want to recite since September, the 4th Friday of September, we're having the American Indian Day in the state.
American Indian Day. Did you know that? Well, there you are.
So So I have this poem called I Am Indigenous.
Okay, read that one.
It's a Whitman-style free verse poem. I am indigenous to this land. By the way, this is Yokich land here in California.
Oh, okay.
So let's all remember that.
Okay.
Yes, I am. Indigenous I am. I am a member of the Cowlitz tribe whose sacred land is under siege in Washington, the state. Our people have survived. I am descended from a Cowlitz chief. Skanewa was his name. He was a hunter, fisherman, a trader, and a guide. He ruled the Cowlitz River from Columbia, the mighty river to the south, to Puget Sound up in the north, and more were his domain. Skanewa ruled all tribes along the Cowlitz River zone in 1828. The Northwest Company was gone. When Hudson Bay had gotten charter rights, they came to Chief Skanewa, then to get support to trade along the route. The Cowlitz Chief Skanewa also helped the U.S. Army find a site on which to build a fort. From Fort Vancouver to the south, he took some soldiers up the Cowlitz River to a site up north in Canada. Fort Langley came to be there thanks to guidance from our chief. An ambush by a Clallam group, a lynch mob to be sure, then wrongly killed the chief of chiefs, Skanewa Courier.
Oh, no. No.
Before Skanewa met his death in 1828, he had 3 sons. A son named Richard Iyall is where I got my name. Skanewa's murder left this son too young to take the reign. But as he grew, he did become a chief. The Cowlitz tribe, the Squally tribe, Puyallup tribes he ruled. Within each tribe, he had a wife. The title Tyee means chief, meaning chief was uttered in respect. Because of that, to honor him, they called him Tyee Dick. Skanewa had an honored brother, Iyall, a priest in a religion of the land. The Indian Shaker religion is how it is known, but we call it Shaddam. He served to be a Shaker priest, like an apostle, some would say. He stood so tall at 6'3". He served with dignity. He was a conduit for God so strong to help his flock along. His children honored him by making Iyall their last name. So he is honored to this day by those who came from him. He was a psychic who used herbs and prayer. He was a modest man. A son of Iyall named Frank became his only son with sons. Frank was the Cowlitz delegate. He wrote the wording of the bill, which gave the native people of the land the right to vote.
Oh, wow.
The Indian Citizenship Act of 1924 was passed by Congress, signed by Calvin Coolidge, President of these United States.
Oh, wonderful.
Frank passed along the Iyall name. My father was his son. Indigenous I am. A friendly immigrant was working in his store one day. His name was Harold Otho Stone. A Shaker priest from Idaho came in and shared some news. He said that Atwin died last night. It saddened Stone to hear about the passing of the chief. "Oh, that's all right," the preacher said. They planned to bring him back to life that very afternoon. The Shaker priest from Idaho, an Indian, invited Stone to see. No other white man was invited there, but Stone had always been a friend to those called Indians.
Wow.
"You never laugh at us," the Shaker preacher man had said. Stone would be welcome there at Atwin's home, but with this strict refrain: don't bring anyone with you. A resurrection ritual was held for Atwin's soul. It was performed on him in privacy by people of the land. 100 people came to Atwin's home in Washington to bring him back to life. His brother Iyall Wahawa was there for sure, to see him live again when he had died the night before.
Wow.
They loved their chief, their friend, so very much. They didn't want to see him go just yet.
Oh my gosh. Is that the end of that?
No, that's page 2.
Oh, let's go.
There's one more page.
One more page. Good.
And this first man named Patty White came up to resurrect. He moved with royal dignity, though wearing clothing that the white man had cast off. They prayed for Atwin to return to live on earth again. They rang large bells and offered chants. They let their bodies move through dance. The room was packed with souls, those visible and not. The sounds got loud and louder, with the tempo going faster and faster in the ceremony form. Emotions grew from people's hearts and got increasingly intense. The house was charged with strong and rhythmic energy. High voltage energy from spirit grew until it reached its peak. Then Patty raised his arms in supplication, praying from his heart for Atwin to return. The rigor mortis, which had come to Atwin's body, slowly went away. The skin regained its color to its normal wrinkled bronze, and Atwin's breath returned. His heart began to beat again. His body moved upon its own as Atwin made it clear that he would live again by sitting up. The people's wishes were fulfilled. For Atwin to return to life, incarnate on this earth again. In just 2 days, he had the strength to walk from home to town. It was a 2-mile walk for him, and yet he did it on his own. He lived again for 5 more years until the year of 1912.
Wow.
Indigenous I am. And a little bit more.
A little bit more. Good, good.
Indigenous folks are not through with this life here. We are not through with this land here. The culture of the area is rooted in the land. Though conquered by the immigrants, our sacred culture has not disappeared. It lives and grows each day. Please listen now to me, my siblings in this life. Anxiety of sacred Mother Earth is high. The sun is sending stronger energy our way. So take it in and let it go as best you can. Is your heart now and your mind now awakening to truth? Indigenous I am.
And is that the end?
That's it.
Oh my gosh. It's not only fantastic, but you're such a wonderful reader. It's just, you know what? Are you making a book?
No.
I'm going to talk to you after we get done here. I'm so glad that you came in this morning. And, I always want you to come in with these wonderful poems because your poems have so much meaning. They're stories. And a lot of poems just are a lot of words, but they don't say anything to me. But this says everything to me because I was on the Indian side, and in one of my books I have the whole history of the Indians that were taken over when the Plymouth thing happened. And so I'm very on the Indian side. Thank you so much again for coming in, and come in again. Thank you so much.
You're very welcome.
Well, that's it for today, and we'll see you next Thursday. Guess what? Richard has some pictures, and we didn't show those, so we're going to show those now, and Richard's going to tell us a little bit about the pictures. Go ahead.
All right, thank you, everyone. Since today is the day to recognize the Constitution, I wanted to bring up the First Amendment rights.
Okay.
Back in 2012, I was actually staying at Occupy Fresno.
Oh.
And I stayed there for over a month. And that was something, there was a protest to what was going on with the federal government and the banks and all that business. And because we have this Constitution now in effect, and we recognize the First Amendment and all the other amendments of the Constitution,
right.
People were allowed to go to the Fresno County Courthouse and other parts in the country and give civil protests, about what was going on. Mm-hmm. So I stayed there, and then on October 27, 2012, this couple, Richard Patch Day, he's in the very first photo that I showed. He had a wedding at Occupy Fresno to a woman named Diffie.
Wow.
That's in there's the first photo. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Wow. She was cute.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, she was staying there too.
Yeah.
And so we had the wedding was there, and I had my camera and I took photos, and that was the very first photo that I had published in the paper called the Community Alliance.
Oh, Community Alliance, great.
Mm-hmm. And that's a local paper. It's a monthly publication, a nonprofit.
Oh, that's first I've seen of it. That's nice.
And as a matter of fact, in this issue, there's a poem of mine.
Oh, really?
So I'm going to give you this copy.
Oh, oh boy, thank you so much. That'll be great. Now, are his pictures up yet, honey?
And the
Okay.
other pictures that follow, just to let you know, there's I have the Declaration of Independence and other, various photos of various people.
Oh,
Okay, there's the Declaration of Independence.
Wow, wow.
And I've been a photographer for the Community Alliances on a volunteer basis.
What an important piece of, oh my gosh. That's fantastic.
Well, here we
Oh.
go. This is a project. This is an art project that was out of Fresno State.
Uh-huh.
And it was also political. This is called Drone Project 2014. An artist from Nevada named Joseph DeLapp, he was the artist in residence that year, and he came to Fresno State
Oh, okay.
and constructed a life-size model of a drone, which is used. It's been used by the United States to kill people in Pakistan.
Wow.
So we had an inauguration ceremony after it was done, and people came and they recited names of people that had been killed in Pakistan
Wow.
by American drones, and they signed the names on the drone,
Boy,
and then they had a group picture
it doesn't
afterwards.
look that dangerous, but I guess it is, huh?
Pardon?
It doesn't look that dangerous, huh? But it is.
No, well, no. This is just a scale model sculpture,
A scale model.
but
Okay.
the real ones they are built to kill.
Okay, wow.
But
okay.
Peace Fresno was one of the sponsors of this event.
Oh,
And
okay.
in fact, I've been a board member of Peace Fresno.
Wow.
I'm not currently, but I have been.
Oh, okay.
Oh, and here's Ellie Bluestein, the late beloved Ellie Bluestein.
Oh,
Yeah, she formed the Fresno branch of Women's International League for Peace and Freedom over 50 years ago.
my gosh.
But she lived. She just died this year. But she had a big career, and there's Dolores Huerta, the president of the Dolores Huerta Foundation, the co-founder of the United Farm Workers.
Wow. On United Farm Workers. Wow.
Yeah. So
That's interesting.
I've been able to get around all kinds of places and take photos and submit them into the Community Alliance. There's a march, a couple of marches there, photos of marches
Okay.
around River Park. This was Dakota Access Pipeline Awareness Walk.
Oh,
This
Oh,
is
that's
when, yeah, and this is just over a year ago, Women's March Fresno.
oh, okay. Women's March. I don't think I could make it now.
Oh, this one was in Oakland.
Oh.
When Governor Brown was governor,
Oh,
and we were
okay.
trying to get him to do more for the climate.
Yeah, good
And
luck.
and the march was led by indigenous women,
Oh, okay.
climate leaders,
Climate
real
leaders.
climate leaders.
That's good. It's like to see people out
Oh, and
for
here
what they want.
we just passed by the vice president. That's okay. Yeah, he's at his time.
Okay.
Oh, and this is the first female mayor of Fresno, Karen Humphrey, with Betty Yee, who is now the state controller of the state of California.
Well, important people, more important people. There's an important person. Okay, thank you so very much.
Well, thank you again for letting me.
Okay, honey,
explain.
and we'll see you again.
All right,
Okay,
thank you very
thank you.
much.
We'll see you next Thursday.